That's not good. I'm just better, bro. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can take your aim from a whiffing mess to landing some of the wildest shots that'll even have yourself surprised. Oh my god, that was the sickest one tap. First up, we need to mention settings, because there's no point trying to improve your aim if your settings are all messed up. So let's make sure they're good first, and then we can get into the more interesting points. Firstly, we need to make sure that enhanced pointer precision is disabled. To do that, you want to go into your Windows settings, devices, mouse, additional mouse options, pointer options, and there it is. Make sure that's disabled because it will give you additional mouse acceleration, and well, we don't want that at all. Next, let's jump back into Tarkov and disable vsync because this adds additional latency. Even if you've got it disabled in nvidia control panel and enabled in game, it's still going to add latency. I know a lot of people used to do this back in the day to uncap your FPS, but just don't do this anymore. If for whatever reason you do need to use vsync, use the fast option that's in the nvidia control panel, as that's designed to reduce latency the most. Next, you want to make sure that you're using the nvidia reflex option. This was a new setting added to Tarkov last swipe, and it's designed specifically to give you less latency in-game and make your game smoother overall. There's two options to play around with here, on and on plus boost. Both of them give the mouse a slightly different feel, so try them out and see which one you prefer. Personally, I have mine just on, but again, it's preference, so try it out and see what you like. Next, you want to make sure you're using your native resolution, or to be more specific, the aspect ratio that's native to your display. I see a lot of people running stretched for quote-unquote better performance and to make heads wider. Just don't do this. Use the resolution that's meant for your monitor. There is no resolution setting that's going to magically make your aim godlike. Stretching a smaller resolution out that's just not meant for your display will just make the vertical speed of everything going on feel weird and too fast. Trust me on this one, just use the resolution that's meant for your display. And finally, we're going to look at sensitivity. Firstly, you want to be able to comfortably do a 180. It may take you a little while to find a setting that you like here, but just keep tweaking it until you find something you're comfortable with. But essentially, it boils down to you don't want to be spinning around like you're trying out for FaZe Clan, and you don't want to be picking up your mouse 4 times just to turn around either. You need to find the sweet spot here, something that's comfortable for you. But yeah, as a general rule of thumb, as long as you can comfortably do a 180, you're good to go. Once you've done that, you're going to want to adjust your actual aim sensitivity, so when you're ADS'd. In my case, I use half of my looking sensitivity as that's what feels most natural. I know a lot of players use a 1-to-1 aim and look sensitivity, but I don't really see much point in doing this as you're just making things unnecessarily harder for yourself. Your ADS is either too fast or you're turning too slow. In summary though, just play around with these settings until you find something that you can easily do a 180 with, but also still make minor adjustments to players' heads. If you like how the aiming sensitivity used to feel in the old COD games, then you might like using similar settings to me. Okay, that's it for settings. It may seem a little boring to go through these, but if you want to improve your aim, it's a good idea to get them set up properly once and just leave it. I know there's a few of you watching right now that will change the sensitivity after every time they die. I got my eye on you, alright? Set it up correctly once and leave it. Of course, it's alright to make minor adjustments here and there, but try find something you're comfortable with and just leave it. Now let's talk a little bit about how you can actually improve your aim. Aim is as much a mentality as it is a skill. Lou? What do you actually mean by that? Okay, so of course you do need some form of skills to aim on the fly and pop heads, but that comes with experience. It's something you get a feel for over time. However, the knowledge of when to take a shot and where to put your crosshair is far more powerful and doesn't require as much raw mechanical skill. Let's take this clip of me killing a scab for example. Notice how I'm not doing any adjustments to my aim. I'm simply placing my crosshair ahead of the target and timing my shot accordingly. There's no need to do a bunch of extra work trying to shoot someone in the head when you can just simply let them walk into your crosshair. This is something that does require a bit of practice though, especially if you're not used to this type of aiming. It can be hard to tell when you should be aiming like this or just pointing and clicking at someone's head. But that's something you pick up with experience as you learn how much you should be leading your shots and how high you should be aiming, if at all. So you want to know what else will seriously help you improve your aim? This message from today's sponsor, Sneak Energy. Guys, if you've been watching my content for a while now, you know that Sneak has been one of our longest running sponsors. And if you're not sure what they do, let me break it down for you real quick. Sneak is a low-calorie, sugar-free energy formula with caffeine, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and electrolytes. And it tastes really good. If you're looking to do away with those expensive, unhealthier energy drinks, maybe give Sneak a try. I'd recommend going with the starter pack to begin with because it allows you to try out a bunch of different flavors for a good price. And if you don't like it, it's not a big deal. But remember, use creator code TULU at checkout. Alright, let's get back to our guide. A little bit of theory out the way, so what else can we do to better our aim? Well, one thing you need to understand about aim is that it requires time. Time to build up muscle memory so that when a PMC appears on the edge of your screen, your body already knows how much you need to move your mouse to get the target in your sights. And one of the best ways to keep things consistent and build muscle memory quicker is to run the same loadout. It's no secret that equipment in Tarkov can change your movement speed and mouse sensitivity. And it's really annoying, to be honest. It can really mess you up sometimes. So again, if you're not feeling quite comfortable with your controls yet, keep running the same loadout, or at least something similar until you essentially become one with your PMC. Alright, let's talk about some actual drills you can do now that you've got things set up nicely, and your loadouts are feeling clean. One of the oldest tricks in the book here is to load yourself into an offline factory raid, enable PvP, set the scab density to medium or high, or whatever you like really, put your weapon on single fire, and just keep tapping scabs in the head. And do this until you can quickly one-tap all the scabs. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's a good way to warm up before a live raid, and I think it's far better than doing a scab run. Scab kits are janky as hell, and it's not a real representation of what your PMC is going to feel like when you load into raid. For all the new players joining us this way, this type of practice will be really beneficial for you. Just gaining the confidence to kill scabs in this manner will help massively when having to deal with other PMCs in raid. Where most people go wrong early on in Tarkov is they have no confidence, and rightfully so. Most people are scared of fighting early on, thus they miss the best opportunity to attack someone. Understanding how fights work in Tarkov is something you'll learn over time, but if I could boil it down to something short and sweet, fighting in Tarkov isn't always about who's got the best gear and aim. It's more about reading your opponent and waiting for them to make a mistake. I'd say 90% of the people I kill in close quarters die due to them making simple mistakes like reloading too close to me or just trying to push me without any cover. Just silly mistakes, but honestly, loads of people make these mistakes. And the only way you really get to understand where people go wrong in fights is by taking fights yourself and making those mistakes. Tarkov is a game where you're going to constantly find yourself learning as you go. No matter how many hours you have really, you're always going to make mistakes. There's nobody with 100% survival rate. You have to die. It's just part of the game. But if you can learn from your bad experiences and realize where you go wrong, then you're going to find yourself growing as a player. And it's going to make mundane things like being able to aim at someone's head and comfortably shoot just be that much easier in game. GG. The last thing that I want to bring your attention to is a particular type of scopes that I think are seriously good for improving your aim in Tarkov, and that's the assault scopes. Scopes like the ACOG, Monstrum, Bravo, and the Hammer. Scopes that just have one fixed zoom. What a lot of people don't realize about these scopes is that their biggest flaw is also a massive advantage. These scopes are fixed. You don't have to mess around switching between optics, worrying about which one to use. You simply point and click. This level of consistency is brilliant for building up muscle memory, and I seriously think it's one of the reasons why my aim has improved so much over the last few wipes. So do yourself a favor here and try out some of these scopes. If you want to see some gameplay with these scopes in action, I've already dedicated an entire video to them, which I'll leave on screen now. If you've not heard of me before, my name's Lou, and I make highly edited story-based videos on Tarkov. If that sounds interesting, give that video a watch, and if you found this one helpful, let me know down in the comments and drop us a follow on Twitch. We're very close to hitting 25k, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.